start off with Camazotz. He's getting a nice new skin this patch. He got leaked a little bit earlier on. And that's Osiris, but he's also getting something too. It's going to be one of those patches. I can see it coming now. But Camazotz tier 2 is what's going to be in this patch. We saw AJ leak it a little bit earlier on. It's going to be available for you guys at home too. Bear with us a second. Apologies for this.
What the fuck?
But the Camazotz skin is a skin.
I mean, it actually has like a really cool like skull mask thing.
I don't know. I've not seen it now.
Yeah, well, once you
I've heard about it.
We can talk about it a bit. It's been spoiled a bit, but like it's actually like one of my favorite Camazotz skin. It might replace my dinosaur one.
Okay.
Although I will miss the kind of like screeching voice pack.
No, I will not miss the screeching voice pack.
Over and over and over.
It's bad news bears with that screeching voice pack. Does not enjoy. Because how are you supposed to know if someone's going to the golf
You
field?
read.
There we go. There's a little look at him finally.
There's text on the bottom.
Now this is a tier 2 skin, just so you guys know, but it does look dope for a tier 2 skin. That's for sure.
Like the tier 2 skins have like been super good recently.
But that's not all we've got this patch, Pom Pom.
There are so many skins.
I know. So we'll get going through them. The next one on the list.
So that's tier 2 skin.
Jackal Knight. Yes, he will also be available in this patch. We'll have a
more
look at all these skins
please.
in-game a little bit later on for you guys at home if you've not tuned in recently. Bit of a change to the flow here. Pom Pom, is this one good or do you prefer Odin?
I actually really like this one because of like effects, but you'll see that later.
Well, too late.
Odin only has one eye.
Yes, Odin Dread Knight will be available in this patch too. Saw some teasers for this one too. He's looking mighty handsome and dangerous.
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a theme here.
Well, talk about themes. Let's go on again then. It's Tyr, the Draco Knight. Has he got wings?
Yeah, you will see that a bit later.
They actually just gave skins to 3 gods that never get played.
Okay.
This one is sick.
That looks really good.
And they're pretty dope
we saw a little
skins.
bit of Osiris earlier on. At least his mastery is getting updated. But you know what else is getting updated? He's getting a new skin.
That looks like a Death Knight
Rejoice!
for a while.
You've all been asking for it for a while. Osiris
a Paladin. Look at that.
is going to be in this patch too. And my, does he look like he's fighting for good.
Yeah, he is fighting for good. But you know what? What if he fought
down
for evil?
a new
What if he fought for evil? Pom Pom.
Oh,
there's
going to be a good and a bad
I wonder if
skin.
we have a skin that is Osiris fighting for evil. Maybe the Black Knight is what you would like.
Only 800 gems.
Cool.
Only a flesh wound.
I'm probably gonna get the
skins are really
bad guy
cool
skin, even though I'll feel bad about it. But
You're one of those crazy people that everyone thinks is good, but really you just evil.
I just do
like
like
the
all
Black
the
Knight
bad options in like
is
the choice-based games.
I mean, that,
and
they literally
July 4th is on its way.
All this stuff
We
is
have a
very
new
similar to
skin
other
to
things.
join the 4th of July celebration.
All right, what do we got? 4th
Like
of July.
to,
Oh shit! Is it a new one?
Does that look good?
Yeah.
It's Nox. If you didn't realize
Nox,
already,
duh.
Lady
Oh, it's
Liberty
the new one.
Nox.
You have the torch there. It's bright. Like this.
Dude,
skin,
I
once
want
it's
a
in game, it's gonna be great.
Mercury.
Oh, she's got
4th of July
fireworks, that's
skin.
for
I
sure.
don't know why.
We'll see what she can do
I just
in
feel
game
like
with that
Mercury
a little bit
is-
later on. And last but not least, we saw the Osiris masteries. Well, we got quite a few masteries this patch that are getting updated. We will be having Darji, Osiris, and Nox. Obviously, Darji's mastery skins will be here, and Osiris and Nox are going to get some updates to theirs, I believe.
People have been asking for mastery skins. We got 3 of them this round.
But if you want to see all those skins in action, stay tuned a little bit longer, and we'll get onto that momentarily, because the main thing you're all mainly here for is to see Pom Pom's sweet face as he tries to explain the reasons we design the way we do.
Yep.
Are you ready for balance?
I think I do a pretty good job every 2 weeks.
How is balance this week?
It's very focused is the word I'll use.
Okay, why is it focused?
So 4.11 is going to be the patch that people play on at DreamHack for both the Smite Console League and the Smite Pro League. And so because of that, because it's so pro-focused in that regard, we took a lot of pro feedback that we've been getting recently. We kind of continued the changes. We went from 4.10 to 4.11, and these are very targeted change to things for that DreamHack patch. 4.12, 4.13 in the future, we'll go kind of back to our casual focus and pro focus, like mixed patches, where we take feedback from casual players and pro players. But this one is very pro focused.
Okay, so obviously this is the last patch that will be happening before DreamHack happens, and we'll talk about DreamHack a little bit more later on. But we'll start things off with bug fixes. Pom Pom's favorite thing ever. Bacchus fixed an issue where his armpit had golden textures on his mastery skins.
Yeah, that was a pretty good picture. The shadow pit became a golden pit.
And Mercury fixed an issue on the Captain Quick skin, where he was playing multiple audio sounds when activating special delivery. Cool. There's the bug fixes. Nice and short and sweet. And miscellaneous added a notification if a player is about to queue without selecting a quest from an ongoing event.
Yeah, this
that's
actually was from the
crazy.
Egyptian,
Pretty good.
Yeah, the Egyptian event when you
notification.
were like
I wish
queuing up
this
and you
stuff
know
was
what you're supposed
live,
to do
but
to
I
get
don't
all
have to
your,
watch
like,
it.
tokens.
What I'm sure linked
there
for
were
the
so
5
many
months.
times where like I did the quest and I played like 6 other games that night and I realized I didn't get any progress towards any of my other quests.
That'll teach you to make sure you check your quests. Or now, in-game, well, in the next patch, you'll be able to have a little notification for that. But that's all we've got for miscellaneous and bug fixes. It's on to itemization changes this patch. I'm going to start things off with Gauntlet of Thebes. Gauntlet of Thebes, this patch is going to be taking a couple of nerfs. The first one is decreased health from 350 to 300. And not only that, we're also going to decrease the magical and physical protections on the aura from 20 to 15. Pom-pom, why?
So this is kind of there's going to be another aura item that's adjusted here, but generally aura items are these things that supports get that not only make them very tanky, but also makes their team very tanky.
Sure.
We nerfed Sunder in the last patch, which is kind of causing tanks to die very quickly, and now that's being seen less often. We're seeing the rise of tanks kind of again because these items exist and they're very powerful. So we're toning back down Gauntlet of Thieves, and then we're also going to be toning down later on Sovereignty, because these aura items are just providing too much to the other team. We're trying to keep the supports tanky. This item was just really cost efficient in general. It was 350 health with 20 protect all, which is just very stat efficient.
Sure.
So we're bringing it back down to be a little more in line with its cost. And the other one's very targeted to make the aura a bit weaker, but make the support actually about as tanky as he was always.
So that was Thebes. Pom-pom mentioned Sovereignty. Let's move on to Sovereignty then. That's going to have some small changes to it. A little bit of a buff in the protections given to the wearer of Sovereignty from 30 to 40. And I think that's just to, you know, allow for the fact that we're going to be decreasing the physical protection aura from 30 to 15. So half the aura, but some more protections for the actual wearer.
Yeah, the wearer will be a little less tanky by 5 protections, but the big thing is the team won't be as tanky for getting this. You're going to get it for the protections it provides you as a support player, and then you can splash that aura onto your teammates to help them out, or you can get more other like different.
They really don't want aura items to be
or help yourself in different ways. Right now, it was so stat efficient that it was basically mandatory for support players to pick up.
Okay, and the final item left on the list to talk about this week will be Shifter's Shield. Small change here. It's going to be going up in cost from 2,350 to 2,500. Pardon, why is it going up in gold?
Why?
We made it so that it was better in the situations that it was going to be used for.
No,
so
really?
When you were being aggressive with it, it was much better, and when you were defensive with it, it was much better. Even though when you were aggressive, you lost some protections, you weren't really using it for the protections at that point. And so the cost increase kind of makes sense for its new kind of power level.
Okay, well, we'll see how that works out with Shifter's Shield. Will we keep an eye on that going forward?
We will keep an eye on that going forward. I did forget to mention, some people will notice that there's an aura item missing from this list. It's kind of normally the trio, Heartward. Heartward is not getting touched because we've already actually seen people kind of forgo this item. We've seen people instead go for like Shogun's Kusari as a different aura item or even other magical protection items. And magical protection is kind of this different stat than physical protection because there's so many things on the map and most team combos are 3 physical, 2 magical. Physical defense is just more valuable in general. We feel like Heartward's in a pretty good spot where Sovereignty was picked up. It was mitigating towers, minions, phoenixes. It was mitigating the 3 physical gods. So we're very aware of that when we look at kind of magical power and magical protections and physical power and physical protections. And so that's why that one's being omitted.
Okay, on to gods then. Over to gods, and we're going to start things off with Darji first of all. A couple of changes to Darji. It's basically just to do with the Powwow. Is it Powwow?
Yeah, Powwow.
I got it right. Landing targeters should now immediately appear upon manually cancelling this ability early. And after firing all 3 chains, Darji will be shifting to dismount the Powwow rather than waiting for her ability to time out.
Just nice quality life fixes that Darji, the Powwow, when she's on it, feels a little bit more fluid.
Okay, well, that's a little change for Darji. And then 3 more changes. The first one is going to be Fafnir. Fafnir is going to be taking a small nerf yet again. Or is it a big nerf? You guys at home can decide. But it's Curse Strength. The slow is going to be changing from 20 scaling up to 40% to be 20% at all ranks. So really lowering down that slow quite a lot.
Yeah, so this is kind of an example of the pro feedback focused one. We nerfed him previously based off a few things like his heal, his mana cost, so he couldn't do as much. But he was still being very highly prioritized. We saw him still doing very successfully. And we want to tone him back down a little bit based off the other pro feedback that we got. And the big thing was the slow. When he had a stun into a protection shred, he had the disarm from the leap, he had kind of the ability to ultimate in the middle of a team fight. He had a lot of things going for him, and that slow, especially in the later stages of the game, was just icing on the cake. So we're toning that back down to 20%. You're going to use it for the stun. The slow effect will still be there, it'll just be much weaker. And this should bring Fafnir into a better spot.
Is Fenrir even released? You're talking about him. I don't think he's been released yet.
That's like one of those characters, like I always just mix up the two because they're right next to each other and they're so close in like lettering.
We're putting a new god in the game that's going to make it much more trickier for me.
Yeah, that one I can't deal with.
I know, I'm going to struggle with that. But Ganesha is the next one up on the list, if you know Ganesha. And it's going to be Dharmic Pillars change, the ultimate. It's not going to have any damage increase, but it is going to have a slow increase here. It used to scale from 20% up to 40%. It's going to be 35% at all ranks now.
Yeah, so this is kind of the reverse of Fafnir. We're actually adding the slow strength. He was a character that is pretty close to like the middle balance. Most people see him as fairly balanced. He got a little bit of competitive play as well. But one piece of consistent feedback that we got on him was that his ultimate didn't feel like it impacted enough, especially in the early stages of the game. It didn't feel like it impacted enough.
It all does
too much. You can control where players are going to move, which is very useful. But like when someone walked through it, just didn't feel like it had a punch. So we're now making this slow at early ranks way more impactful, and that later ranks is actually toned down because he has a lot of late game things going for him.
Toned down.
Amplification. He can
it's literally level 20. You have 5% less slow at level fucking 20.
And so this brings his early game up, makes it feel more impactful, and then later game he has his other kind of tools to help him.
By
the way, guys, is my mic synced now? Are we good?
This week for God Balance is Nemesis. We're going to be looking at
the nerfing Nemesis.
We reduced the power gained and power lost from 6% down to 5%. So a small tweak, but it's a significant tweak.
Does it make any
so
sense?
Nemesis, this is mainly to kind of reduce her strength as this duelist character. She is very effective at not only shredding you, then getting on you, and then healing from the damage you do, but then it's also stealing power. We're toning that down a little bit. This is not kind of like the final thing that we'll be talking about in Nemesis, though. This is just the change for DreamHack that we want to implement. She's a very powerful character, but she wasn't like necessarily dictating everything that was going on, so we just wanted to tone her down a little bit. We'll investigate more towards the mid-season, which will actually be 4.13 is the mid-season patch. We'll be investigating towards mid-season, maybe more adjustments or more targeted adjustments to make her not feel like she doesn't have as much counterplay as people would like. Some people view her as like this ultimate bot, so we're going to make targeted changes that she's still tank shredder and she still has kind of utility effects, but she's not just like an ultimate bot that you bring for only that purpose.
Gotcha. So not a whole lot of changes between Itemization and God Balance this week, just small tweaks ready for the DreamHack, and then we've got summer coming up as well. Where we'll see a lot of potential changes.
Yeah, we'll see quite a bit of stuff. We'll have a whole bunch of new stuff for you in the mid-season patch. I don't want to get into it too much because that's for the mid-season patch, but we have a lot.
We'll see how that does. Pom, thank you for the balance section. I guess you better go and get ready for going for the skins now, right?
Yeah, I have to make sure I have all the voice packs equipped.
Well, while you're doing that, why don't you have a refreshing beverage? Or find out which simmer near you. You can go and get a refreshing beverage right now.
What? It's a brother. There's two. He's looking for a third. It's going to be on Yavin.
So bright.
Obey. They hold their base. He's a god. He is a god. This 4 members left, and into the sky goes adapting. The ultimate.
Europe and Russia.
The Titan is under siege. And
what is happening?
Are looking to be world champions again. Long live the king.
And there you have it, a little look for you guys at home at what's available. Coke Esports is going to be available in cinemas for DreamHack for you all to go and attend in Europe. You can find out all the information you'd like to do with this event over at the website.
You go to the movies to watch DreamHack Finals.
2017.com. And over there you'll be able to find out how to get hold of tickets and what theaters you can find.
It's only in Europe and Russia, I think.
Watch the DreamHack for you guys there as well. Obviously,
it's
all over Europe too. Most of Western Europe, including some places in Russia that have just recently been added to. So make sure you find out more about your tickets there. And as you can see, I've been joined by 3 wonderful individuals.
I guess we're flying to Russia.
Good luck. Harsh. How you doing?
I'll take it.
First of all, AJ, been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah, great. Happy to be here. I mean, new god.
New god.
Good show.
And Chuck, you ready for some card art?
I didn't even know there's a new god
fantastic skins.
You skipped me for the card art, bro.
I mean, you didn't need for the card art. I want you for your in-game footage more than anything else. Yes. Let's get on to the in-game footage then and actually have a look through what skins we're going to have this patch. We'll start off with Camazot's Xibalba's Shadow is going to be the first one we have a look at in-game. And when they get the card out,
happy to get the Xibalba reference in there too in the name. It's the Mayan underworld for those who are wondering.
And this is a tier 2, correct?
Yes.
So it's just basically the way the god looks and the instruction. Was there anything special you did with this one, Chuck?
We just wanted to have the sweet skull mask on Camazotz, really.
It's just straight up badass.
Like
that's really like
Mayan Camazotz.
Yeah, I like the color scheme a lot
Camazotz ult,
I'm down as long as the
where you go up in the air and you hang upside down and you just dive bomb once for a fuck ton of damage.
Voice pack, actually. The actor really killed it on there. We love working with that actor.
Oh, should be going in game now.
Rico, he's one of our favorite guys to work with.
Okay, that's pretty sick.
I love the plumage.
Yeah, he's got
it's
like
not a word I get to say very often. It's not a sentence I get to say very often, but I do love the plumage.
With all the wings in Smite, you could use it a lot more often if you wanted to.
Probably could.
It's actually the first time I've seen this.
It is. Me too.
It's really good.
But I really like the color scheme.
I usually hate
been amping up tier 2s.
The rib cage is a nice touch, which you can't really notice from the card art, but that face mask just worked out super well.
Yeah, the mask is the only reason that's really good.
We're going to have to move on swiftly. Obviously, the abilities stay the same for you guys at home, so nothing's really going to be unusual for you. Outside of the pretty looks and the Bob Ross jumping emotion, which you can get, you can't get anymore, I don't believe. But it's time to move on to the Knights of the Realm, or the Battleground, or whatever you want to call them. Anubis is the first one. Anubis Jackal Knight.
Now this one has some very inventive effects and animations to go along with it. It's really cool.
Of course, Anubis gets all the love.
So translating Anubis from a very mage to looking kind of like a battle mage kind of knight character, we had to do a couple interesting things with a...
Yeah.
It suits him.
Some of these things happen when we're making, like when we were like, we'll make them into knights, and then we're like, we made mages into knights, and then we're like, well, we better figure that out.
It worked out really well though.
The red's cool, but like they already have a tier 5 skin. Why?
I don't think you look at it and you go, yeah, it's definitely Anubis, but it could be just a dude in an Anubis suit. Right? That's kind of what you're looking for.
The legs kind of prevent that from really being true.
But the helmet, anyone could wear that helmet.
Anyone could wear that helmet.
He's inherently doggly.
In medieval times, they could have put children in those suits to grow up in to make sure their legs would form that way. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Your rationalization
is brutal
so
history,
dark.
man.
I'm from the medieval times, man. Technically, like that's where it all came from.
I really like the colors on this skin. Okay, that's fucking sick.
So do that one again. He's quick throwing his daggers from his hip.
Holy
his hand is actually animating really quickly.
That is awesome.
And he's pulling them out of like the sheath on his leg.
Alright,
super sweet.
Show me the 3.
That's a flurry of daggers.
What's Mummify then? Is it like gives him the Black Plague or something?
I want his ult to be a bunch of daggers.
But it's something we use
Bro,
often.
this is so good.
It's a chains.
It's chains.
Themed mummify.
Colors are so good.
He's imprisoning his enemies.
Oh, those chains look kind of cool.
Yeah, they look great. I like the projectile.
Oh, this is cool.
Rasping hands.
The spears.
Sword.
Yes.
Spear pit.
That's crazy, but I like it.
That's for sure.
Yeah, there was no point in just. Sometimes we just use the hands of the Anubis.
I like
but
the one.
They were just
I hope the ult doesn't let me down.
The ground. It just
really
wasn't that cool, so we wanted to give it a little more punch.
Yeah, I like the
It's
spears a lot.
What's Laser Beam of Death Time? What do we do with this?
It's
a lot brighter.
Yep, and I love how it always saves the ground as well.
Yeah, the ground.
When you literally have the biggest letdown ever on the ultimate.
It's a different treatment.
So much potential, Iris. Why?
So cool.
Well, it also comes with a voice pack too, so let's have a quick listen into that voice pack before we move along.
Woohoo! Thou art warrior-like.
What was the reasoning for this?
I excel at all skills. Attack middle lane. Thou hast failed this kingdom. Art thou vexed?
Who did the voice pack?
I did.
Merriment.
I just made it like really, really.
Thou.
Knightly.
Yes.
All I can hear is thou.
He's the only one that is like that. Everyone else doesn't sound like that.
The knight skins are
I wanted
in
to give him
styles.
a little more change, difference, uniqueness.
Sure. He's a little bit more posh and regal for a knight, but thou is some trouble.
And he's like, I am good at all skills except escaping.
Well, that's the Anubis one. We'll move on now.
The one
to
is
the Odin one. Odin.
And then it's just
Dread
let
Knight
down,
is the next one
let down.
on your
All right,
screen.
Odin,
And
have
he
the
looks
coolest ultimate of
devilishly
all
evil.
time, please.
Yeah. Compared to the
We
other
need a
one?
bunch of spears. Like.
Yeah, so we've got
Anubis is
2 heavily badass themed skins this patch. We've been getting some requests for those, especially for these Odin and Tyr, who are very warrior-like but don't
Odin
have
and
anything.
Tyr?
It's just, man, we have made these guys as scary as humanly possible. So we did that.
Yes, and of course we kept his one-eyed theme.
The mask is really cool.
Running
I like
his
that.
helmet.
I like this game.
And in the card art, it's
really
quite well featured.
I think the panda maybe retired.
Oh my god, that's
I mean,
I
it depends on whether you want to be intimidating or a
Still
little
feeling
trolly.
the panda.
Yeah.
I'm both.
I know.
Well, you can alternate. Now you've got more things you can do.
I'd rather be both at the same time. Can you release a skin that lets me do that?
Do you want me to put the panda head on the knight?
Yeah,
no,
do that for
it's
me.
not
Do
that
it for me,
bad.
Chuck.
That just makes it trolly by
If we
default.
get 10,000 tweets at Chuck asking for that to happen, I'm sure we can make it happen. 10,000 is a fair number.
I mean, usually you overestimate that by a couple million.
And one of my favorite things, sweet pentagrams.
Pentagrams? Of course.
That is sick.
That's not even a spear anymore. It's like a sword spear.
And let's have a look at the Raven Shout. Is that bats flying
It's
around in
now
this
Bat
town?
Shout.
Yeah. Bat Shout.
Borrowing some of Kamazotz's buddies.
Okay.
Get bat bombed.
Then obviously his nice little spin.
Best ability in the game right here.
I don't know. You guys might really like this skin.
Finally, the
don't really
ultimate.
care about the skin. Don't really care about the abilities.
Yeah, of course it's a ring of
I just want to do it as well.
Oh, okay. I like that.
That looks
Literally
so,
just
that's
regular
bigger than
Particles
usual.
around the outside.
It's got a storm of bats.
Really?
To kind of
Oh, it does, yeah.
supplement it.
Like a tornado.
It's nice.
Cool.
A bat-nado, if you will.
Well, we're gonna have to
I like the
continue
Anubis
along,
skin
so
more
let's
than
go into
this.
the
The
voice
Anubis
pack
skin was
for
a
this skin
letdown.
straight away. Have a little
Which
listen
is
into how
super evil.
Odin sounds.
Your skill is of the highest caliber. Excellent. My weapon has no equal.
God, that's terrifying.
I wield in my hand the power to change the fate of the universe.
Good grief. That's a lot of power.
Yeah, he ain't joking.
Time itself.
I don't know why, but it reminds me of an evil villain from Power Rangers.
I sustain myself on the soul of
So they kinda
baby.
come
That might have actually been in the casting notes. I remember Tina using that reference.
Nope, that's
Nope,
for
it's for
something
something
else.
else.
Oh, for something else. Okay.
Well, we'll move along to the
Okay,
next
I know
one.
I heard
That's
that
for
around the
something
studio.
else.
So I guess, spoiler alert, we have another
Yeah,
badass
spoiler
monster of some sort coming up.
It's time for tier. Let's move on to tier.
Yeah, I
Tier
guess you just
Draco
spoiled the
Knight.
voice back for the
I think the
actual
reason it's
new
got
god.
Draco in there is because of those lovely, beautiful wings that make him look
That's right.
draconic.
There's a couple dragon themes, yeah.
Guys, shout out to Oreo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oreo!
I like those horns too on that card.
A lot of community involvement in these skins ideas this patch.
There was, and this one we just, we took the thing and we
Bro,
converted it
tell
to
me that
fit
doesn't look
on the-
exactly like
on the
Ao Kuang.
tier. And we actually went and did the thing that everyone wanted us to do.
Is that
which
not
was
Ao
put
Kuang's
wings on
skin?
him while he's doing his ultimate.
Right.
And in a couple of other cases where it was appropriate.
I almost want to see Odin and Tyr run duo lane together now, just because they look like badasses together, and you might get confused which
No,
one's which.
you want to see a solo lane clashing of them against
That is
each
also
other.
true.
That's what you
That
want to
is
see.
also
And
true.
that actually makes sense in the meta.
Oh.
Look at those wings. I like how they're a little bit disheveled there, like they've had little holes ripped into them from overuse.
Pon's not going to let him fly back to base.
Then
Fly
he has
back
to
to
get
base,
back to the
Pon.
good lighting in the middle of the...
Fly back to base, Pon.
He can warp back. He can use his hacks. It is
Alright,
nice.
that
I'm
was-
glad.
that
I'm
looked
glad. I'm glad we did it.
That
Yeah.
looked cool. It was
Actually,
worthwhile.
that's
Thank
really,
you, Pon.
really awesome.
He's doing it again.
I was
Why
doing it
not?
again.
He's
my
got the
TP.
command queued up.
Oh, look at
I like
you,
the little
Francis.
wings,
Let's
but
look through the
I don't know.
abilities. Fearless, first of all.
Oh,
He's got the flame.
look at that molten
Alright, the fire effects is kind
rage.
of cool.
Yeah, the fire's pretty sick. The flame on the
Yeah.
2 is sick.
He is a
I
dragon.
just wish this didn't look just like Ao
the other
Kuang.
stance I like, Pon.
Even though I understand.
Okay,
it's like
I was always
you're
interested in
Dragon
how they're going to do
Knight,
the
but-
stance changes to make it clear for what stance is in, but yeah, defensive stance is really obvious.
Yeah, we made him very bluish purple in this case.
I like the little tint of purple. It's very
I do
nice.
like how the pauldrons
Done
change
nicely.
color
And then,
for
of
the
course,
stances.
the Lawbringer. It's always nice to see how this looks. I'm guessing there's wings involved. I hope there is.
Yes, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That looks dope.
Okay, dude,
Do it from offensive stance.
that
just
looks
for fun.
pretty cool.
The ult is awesome.
That's pretty dope.
The animation is slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just the starting of it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like that a
Just based on
lot
the way
more.
Because he
Holding
holds
the
the
sword.
sword, yeah.
That's
That looks cool.
way
And it's got a
better than
voice
the
track
OG ult.
too. Let's have a listen to that.
Ira's making good things.
You are worthy. Excellent. I am the greatest. Beg for a swift death. You will not know mercy by my hand.
Oh, yeah.
Evil.
Is it the same voice?
About medieval torture devices. But it is a bit of a stretch.
Oh, yeah. That joke was a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
That
the
joke
spam
is a
good.
stretch in itself about a stretching torture device. It's a stretch. Nice
All
job,
right.
Gina.
That's tier, but you want some more warrior skins? We can give you some more warrior
Osiris.
skins. Osiris is the next one
Please
up.
be good
And we've got
skins.
two
And I
different
know
versions.
everyone
There's so
was
much
like,
Osiris
We
played.
need skins
Please
for
make them
Osiris,
good.
and I feel you because I play a
You know
lot
there
of
has to be
Osiris.
just a flesh type
a
thing.
Is it because he's OP that you
There's
like
gotta
playing
be a
him?
joke
or-
for it.
No, I played him before he was OP.
That's true.
Thank
It's
you.
true.
Okay.
I'm just enjoying
I
it
just want to
now
know-
that
listen,
he is.
I just want to know, Chuck, if you're one of those
As
guys
long as
that
the
just
voice
follows the
back is
meta
not
and only plays
A's.
the OP stuff, or you
That
actually
is
do?
not
It should be
Chuck.
straight
Chuck plays
up.
what
Okay.
he wants.
Okay,
Yes.
so you actually make...
Although I only start playing Dodgy once she got buffed.
okay.
But
Fair enough.
Chuck's really good at
Fair
Ao
enough.
Kuang. I see him playing the Quanger a lot,
And
dude.
this-
Clanger,
well,
Morrigan, you know.
Thanatos.
Enough about other gods. Let's talk more
Thanatos.
about Noble
Look
Knight.
at
So,
this.
yes.
Osiris.
Look at
So
this.
the thing was, this originally started with Evil Knight Osiris, and then we were talking about events and whatever, and I, was like, hey, we could just change some things about this and get 2 Osiris skins, and so that's what we did.
He looks awesome.
Right, and there's quite a bit of differences in the model between the two, the helmet and the shoulder pad. the markings on the armor.
Yeah, we physically changed a bunch of things, the mace balls and the shoulder armor and the helmet and the insignias and a bunch of stuff, and we changed the color scheme.
Which is realistic to what
medieval times were, where you know technically some factions would be slightly
right. You had your heraldry, yeah.
Exactly.
I like the weapon. I don't play like single player games, but this reminds me of running around in like a single player like
hit that
night type game.
Oh, in hands first.
Oh, in
hands.
yeah.
Basics.
They're way more
Not to use
smooth.
the dev speak.
I hope one of the skins, or I wish the evil skin, the weapon in your right hand was a lot bigger.
Oh, I love the light that comes out of.
Is it paid to win? It looks bigger.
The holy, like, yeah.
It's paid to win.
Oh, it looks so much better than the green, dude.
Like,
That's.
Oh my
coat of arms
gosh, that's so good.
Oh yeah.
is in the
Oh, he looks so much. Okay, that's an awesome skin.
Tether looked like.
Up close too.
yeah.
Okay.
The double eagle head.
And the tether as well. Show me the tether.
Oh.
You can kind of hear the voice
Horses,
back.
it's chains. It's medieval times.
Right.
Yes.
The spirit chains.
They look really good. I like how they wrap around him as well.
Yeah, the invisible mode is looking, or the broken mode
Spirit
is looking
mode,
awesome.
yeah.
Lord of the afterlife.
I love the ult.
That one looks great.
I don't really care
And the
about
voice
the
pack for what we heard of it so far
Yes.
sounds very, very
I think
good.
it looks cool though.
And I guess that's what you're kind of
He's a
after
good guy.
here. So let's have a listen into
Yes.
that voice pack and see exactly how it sounds. That's good.
That's a pretty good one.
You've left quite an impression. Astonishing. I fight with honor.
Oh my god.
Kill me and I shall be a martyr. Have at you.
Have at you.
How about you?
When us knights die, it should say, rust in peace. Get it?
I do get it.
I am a knight, but sometimes I wish I was a simple shrubber.
Oh man, we went heavy on
That
those.
joke seems slightly louder than the other.
It is.
Yeah, that was interesting. The jokes were louder than
getting
normal.
louder.
But that happens sometimes. Next skin,
I
though,
don't like
is
this
the other
voice
version
back,
of
dude.
Osiris Knight. It's
not
the
good.
Black Knight.
It had to balance out
All
the
right,
good.
please make
and
this
the
one
evil
really good.
Yes.
Please make
voices,
it.
so.
It just seems to be do this in Osiris
This
in
one-
waves,
this could
right?
be
So we did the
so
Frankenstein one, and we
fucking
did the other
good.
version, and now
Yeah,
we're doing
you
just
know,
I have
a
faith in it
coincidence.
being really good.
Coincidence,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it really coincidence?
Yes, it is.
coincidental.
Okay, okay. So you say. I don't believe you.
Because in the other case, it was kind of the same thing, though, where we were drawing Frankensteins, and then we liked two of the Frankensteins, and they
okay.
said, which one
I
should
like
we
the
make?
colors.
And I said, both of them.
This guy looks dope too. I think I'm excited more about his voice pack. I think than anything else to see the differences between the good versus
Wait, is
evil
the weapon
version.
bigger like I
Boy's
wanted?
weaponry looks pretty badass.
It
there.
looks fucking bigger.
Yes, you got the warthog
Zoom out.
shoulders instead of the eagle and the more
I think it's about
kind
the
of
same.
bucket head
Is
helmet. Different
Zoom
historical
out.
Symbology's
reference
different.
there.
We
Yeah.
get it, Pon.
And his heraldry.
Of course, his
And he has some of the
It's
sickest
bigger, bro.
metal
That's
textures.
look at the
definitely
board.
bigger.
Oh, I see the abilities
The
on
boar
this
with the
one
tusks
too. We'll start with the basics, or the
That's cool.
in-hands, as Pompon likes to show us that first.
I mean, he's just being thorough, okay?
I've never seen Pompon
I
before.
like this
before.
one
I'm very
better.
confused. That's what's thrown me off. You know?
How dare you?
Oy.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Swear it looks bigger, man.
Oh,
Pay to
the
win.
red
I'm not
looks
joking.
sick.
Just because it looks
All the,
bigger,
like,
bigger doesn't mean
flame
the
effect
hitbox isn't
on
gonna
it.
be right.
think you're going?
Oh, you can see the cross in there.
The dark cross, yeah.
I like it. I'm feeling
Yeah, and
it.
some of these guys that have red stuff, obviously we can't make the default effects red because that's what we use to indicate when things are dangerous to you.
Sure.
So both this guy and Anubis, their effects from the player perspective are kind of white and black, but to the enemies they'll be red and black.
Okay. And then loaded that flat too. Now let's have a listen into that lovely new voice pack too.
Wahoo! A skilled fighter indeed.
Okay.
Huzzah! No one can defeat me.
Isn't that already a
I
line?
fear nothing, not even death. Draw your weapon. A rabbit slayed 10 men. Surely you jest.
Oh my god.
Dost thou even hoist?
Solid.
So yeah, he's not super duper evil, which I think is a good thing here. I think he's just another version of...
He's an evil dude. He's not like a demonically...
Yeah, no, because he doesn't look demonic.
Yeah,
he's just... Right.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Anubis and the
I'm not
Osiris is a
saying
little more
it's bad,
classical.
but I'm not saying it's anything
Tyr
special.
and Odin a little bit more fantasy, and we got a good spectrum of knights here.
But there are different voice actors.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, they're two different.
And they're knights, and now it's on to Liberty, right?
I wonder who comes up with the ideas for like, like similar to movies and shit, you know?
So this is probably the most tasteful 4th of July
Okay, this one better be fucking
Raw America was really on point.
It looks like you're going to
the Canadian one.
Raw America is awesome, but I wouldn't consider it tasteful.
They're all awesome, but they're more of a parody. This one's actually, has some class to it.
Oh my god.
I'm not being funny. This one wouldn't be tasteful if we didn't change Nox's taunt animation, emote animations, because maybe it wouldn't have been.
Sore spot with the community. Why you gotta bring that up?
I'm sorry. It's because when she was talking about that, I'm like, imagine if it did have that old.
It would be quite. We would have had to remove it for this skin. I think it would have been inappropriate.
And if the abilities are different,
this is a nice little look.
It's gonna be
Nox skin. Obviously, tier 3, so he's got some nice abilities too.
Oh, look at the little stars.
Look at the stars.
The effects are really cool.
Oh, she throws stars.
Oh my gosh. It's an eagle of destiny. It's a bald eagle.
Is that what that's from?
No, really?
Yeah, it's just a bird, but still, it's fucking awesome. Oh my gosh, that's so fucking good.
And that effect is red, white, and blue if you're on the other team.
Oh, is it?
Yes, that's
cool.
That is fucking sick.
That thing you never want to be in.
Oh, the one is fucking dope.
Then we got the dash too. She's so glittery and so
twinkly.
Yeah, we need an Odin to go inside of.
I bet you
Oh, that looks so fucking cool!
They're like galactic.
Oh, I like the stars actually.
Instead of black, it's fucking galaxy.
And finally the ultimate too.
Oh, I see the.
Oh, it's fireworks!
The fireworks, dude! Holy hell!
Yes, death by
High
fireworks.
res.
Yeah,
that stepped up their game once again.
Ability to kill people with.
For sure.
I like this one a lot.
Now it comes with a voice pack too, so we'll have a listen to that. What's up, Tina? What are you doing?
I'm sorry, no, nothing. Don't mind me. I just dropped. Yep.
You're on screen still.
I was like, why did the voice pack say, oh no?
I know, I was like, that voice pack line sounded a lot like Tina.
I was like, what?
Okay, shh, let's have a listen.
Woohoo! Proud of you. Fantastic. America the Great. Everyone is welcome here, even you. Do not tell me who to be or what to do.
Bitch.
What was the most popular dance in 1776? Independence dance!
Oh, jeez. That's a rough joke. Yeah, so this voice pack is very, independent and motivational.
Yeah, women's rights, sort of, with Tina.
Everybody's rights.
Everybody's rights.
This is just very, a lot of the other ones are very macho or very over the top, but this one's just a nice, encouraging, motivational, helpful. Like the Statue of Liberty is the welcoming.
No one's gonna use the voice back.
Well,
except the people on the other team.
We need to move along a little bit more.
No, she accepts them too. Her taunts are very accepting.
Right.
I wrote them very accepting.
Do it, Pon. Taunt. Come on.
Taunt did a bunch.
What you can do for your country.
See.
See, and then
there was one taunt. Where's the rest?
Point proven.
Welcome here, even you.
That was a taunt.
Was that towards me? Even you're welcome here.
Hey, I'm also a green card holder.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Masteries, let's move along because you guys will keep me here all day. It's time to move on to Dodgy. Yes, Dodgy's getting her masteries in this patch. There's a little look at her fantastic looking card art and looking weaponry alongside it.
She is scary.
And in game, obviously, we'll get to see all 3 versions, hopefully, of the Golden, Legendary, and Diamond.
Pon's going to be busy over there.
Pon's actually doing some work. That's what you wanted to say.
With this many skins.
You're just more polite than me.
You're just mean to him.
I just can't help it. He brings it on himself.
Man, snazzy.
Oh,
so
the tails.
Greg and I went back and forth a lot trying to get the golden tails to feel cool, and I feel like we were successful ultimately. They have like some sweet golden streaks.
Some tips.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I see the gold.
There you go. They did a good job. tail looks
I like how the tails.
Forgot where I was in for a second. I'm sorry.
I like those tails instead of making them too gold, where they would feel, you know, metallic or anything. They have a little bit of a cool sheen texture on them, but I like that you get a lot of the legendary.
Yeah, we kind of streaked it in there. Yeah.
And the diamond.
For the rare few who already
Tails
have
look
diamond.
way better than the skins they used to put out. I gotta give them that.
I could look it up, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, there's Dodgy for you. She's going to have hers in the next patch, alongside 2 updates will be happening to the Mastery Skins
diamond
too.
tails look really cool.
Yeah.
Flexing around.
Oh, they look good on that.
So sparkly.
Well, next one is Nox Mastery updates. We should have a little look at Nox, and there she is with a couple of changes. What was the main reasons for the changes here, Chuck, with the update?
To make her face not be gold.
Why was her face gold?
Old style masteries.
God.
I just wanted to know. I'm not trying to cause issues.
You're
I'm just
asking me rhetorical questions is what you're doing.
Oh.
Anyway.
That was a rhetorical question. I was like, why was it gold?
Because they
Don't
used
care
to be
about mastery
100%
skins
gold.
at all.
Oh, is that what happened?
Literally do not care.
Moving
Darky
on.
cares though.
Wait, moving on.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was actually pretty good. That's the legendary version too. I actually like the tips.
Yeah, so we tried to feather in the gold a little bit here, which kind of gave us a neat appearance on Nox without making her overly gold.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Looks really solid. And diamond as well? Of course.
Oh, damn.
Very nice.
The mask that Nox has is pretty cool.
Not just Nox, the final skin we have is Osiris Mastery Skin updates. Was his face golden too?
Probably.
Yeah. If they're being updated, their faces were gold.
Okay, I forgot, right? It's been a long time since
I've seen just wants to hear us say it.
I can't tell if it's on purpose
you haven't
or
played
accident.
Osiris recently because...
No, I haven't. But if I was, I wouldn't be playing this skin, even though it does look cool on the card art, because I'd be too busy playing with one of the knights.
That's true.
And I'm pretty sure the company would be happy with me doing that anyway, because that costs gems and this doesn't.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
It could cost gems. Or
Osiris players,
that's true.
we are sorry it took so long, but now you get 5 skins.
Finally, 5 skins in one patch.
Count masteries, yeah. You get 5 in one patch, and they
and
look sick.
And I am one of those Osiris players, so I will be happy to not have to be constantly using talk through the fan Frankenstein.
Oh, yes. that voice pack is rough.
That voice pack should be banned. It hurts my fucking
I
ear.
like the skins, but that. Tina, where were you on that one? Even hired yet?
And the diamond version of Osiris too. And not just that, we also have one other thing to show you. As long as Pompon has it ready, you can just tell me VGS if he does. The Fire Giant Ward. Do we have that ready?
I hope so. He's really cute and fun.
Let's have a little look at it. Any time.
Watch my back.
How cool is that? A little mini version of the Fire Giant.
Cutesy Fire Giant Ward.
That's going to be available in the game too.
He stepped
That's
on
the
it.
best ward ever.
Place it again,
Can you
please.
kick him?
He only bought one, Tina. And he has to reattach the camera.
That is the most adorable little Fire Giant
is
ever.
Above and beyond what he usually does in playtests.
Pod, why?
So that's
Never
kind
mind.
of
We'll do it later.
You could see
But it was
inside
a
his beard.
a nice little animation where he like put his sword on the ground and hiked up on top of the ward pedestal.
Cute. That is cute.
That is
Come on,
thud.
sign on for me.
Now,
Not
as you can
good.
see, boys and girls at
Ward
home,
skin.
Nice.
a lot
Holy
of these
shit.
skins have the same sort of theme. It's going to be part of an event. And to have a little closer look at that event, we're going to go quickly and take a little closer look at a video we've made specially for you. There's a nice little look at that.
Oh,
Tina,
yeah.
tell me a little bit about this video and stuff that we're seeing here, because it seems to be
Tina's
part of
been hard at work on this
you were
particular
involved
item.
in this whole event, correct?
Yes.
like-
Wait, did you say my fault?
No, you were in charge of this.
Oh,
you were the one
yes,
forwarding this the whole time?
yes.
So what's the whole idea behind this event?
So this event it's a morality game style event where you guide Osiris. You start off as a gray Osiris, so you don't have an affiliation yet. And then what you do is you make decisions for him, depending on good or evil.
Okay.
And Pawn, if you could bring up the...
Look at you queuing stuff. As he's,
okay.
As she's working on
anyway,
it right now,
while
keep
he's
talking
working on it, so what it is you'll see if the first quest is going to be a neutral quest,
right.
and there it's just basically like you start. It says go on your quest to the castle, for example.
Okay.
And when you do your next quest following it, it'll be a morality quest, which means that you will get morality points depending on your decisions that you make, good or evil. So if you do a good quest, there's gonna be a morality bar at the top, and it will fluctuate depending on your points that you receive by doing this quest.
Okay.
Also, when you complete a quest, depending on good or evil, there will be an image that will reflect your decision that you made.
Oh.
Yes.
So you do quests to influence whether you're good or evil, and that can influence how quickly you get certain rewards.
Correct. So as you see here, thank you, Pawn. There's to the left, if you click on the bottom, so let's say the first one, that's your first quest.
Okay.
So you can start it.
Do quests, get chest.
Yes.
Gotcha.
They give you chests, and they give you items.
Okay.
Like skins and the loading frame and stuff like that. So as I explained earlier, there's a good and evil bar at the top, depending on your choices that you make, good or evil. For example, right there, there's the top one is a good choice because it says save a village from the bandits, or you can steal from the village with help from the bandits.
I don't need the bandits. Can I just steal from the villagers anyway?
Oh, you can, yeah, but then it's going to be harder because there's like 50 people.
That's fine. I'm used to that.
So
it's not a choice, Hindu.
What? I have to work with the bandits?
So you either choose either
I'll work
or.
with the bandits. Fine.
And then once you complete one, let's say you take save the village from the bandits. Once you complete it, so only when you select it and press start will you get your objective, your quest objective, because they're going to be different for both. And then once you complete that quest, come back to the screen and you'll see a new image instead of this gray. That's Great Knight Osiris right there, by the way.
Sure.
He hasn't affiliated yet. So once you get to the middle of the event. Once you have enough points, depending on good or evil, you'll get your first Osiris skin. That would either be a good Osiris, depending on your morality.
Or a bad Osiris?
Or a bad Osiris.
Cool.
Right. And then at the end, because you're still collecting morality until the end, you'll get the other Osiris skin that you haven't gotten in the middle.
Interesting.
So let's say you got good first, you'll get evil,
so
no matter
you
what.
can see your alter ego, basically.
Exactly.
I get you.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an upgraded version of some of the stuff from Celtic or last year's DreamHack. We wanted to feel like some of the quests felt more impactful in terms of what was happening, and then we wanted to make sure to space out the rewards, but also make sure that you got all of the rewards, even if you had final exams and you couldn't complete the quest chain. You will still get the stuff when the event time's out.
Yeah, this event has a lot of cool features. You'll actually see the story images. There's unique ones as you complete all the quests and move through the event. And based on your good and evil choices, you'll get different images.
Sure.
And
if I
different
want to, I can switch
Osirises.
randomly, right? So I can start being good, and then, you know what? I'm going to be evil now.
Once you complete the quest, you can't redo it.
No, but I can do the next quest evil.
You can. Yes, that's correct.
You could start good and then change your mind, and you'll get different endings at the end based on how you do that.
I change my mood based on what the opinion is. Do I get to kill nice innocent people? Yeah, sure, I'm down. But do I want to save babies? No, not really, so I'll probably kill them too. But maybe, you know, somewhere along the lines, I'll find a quest, I'm like, you know what, I'll be good here.
There is my favorite quest.
I will share my food with people.
You can trebuchet dung onto the castle.
Sold.
That's the good option.
Yes, so that's the good option.
What's the bad option?
Fireballs!
Yeah, dung is definitely.
That was like a 4 out of 10 for Tina too. So you guys,
I was really excited.
That's not even loud.
The image, like the art direction for doing that, was just
really
funny. Remember the dung? Dung icons is great.
Well, guys, thanks so much for going through the art segment and
True.
obviously talking about the new event too.
Going
to head over to the community really quick. The community guys are standing by right now. I believe it's Hyra's David and Hyra's Savannah. How you doing, guys?
Reginald, thank you for the sub. Sorry it's not popping up on the stream.
The first thing I'm going to mention, David, is this Chivalry event. You know more information about this bundle and how what's entailed to get all the stuff in the event, right?
That's right. It is 1,200 Jemmy Gems to decide if you are a good boy knight or a bad boy knight.
1,200 was that?
1,200.
Okay, and what do I get from that? Do you know?
You get a whole bunch of stuff. Tina mentioned a few of them. You get a sweet loading frame, a loading screen, a music theme, and as Chuck mentioned, if you buy into the event, you will automatically receive all of the unique items for the event at the end of the event.
Gotcha. So if you don't manage to complete all the rewards in this quest chain, but you spent the 1,200, you can still get all these skins
gems
at the end of the event.
All the gems.
That's kind of cool.
But it's kind of like wearing last season's everyone's Gucci by the time the event is over, so you kind of want to get it done while it's going on, right?
That's a good point. That's a good point. So for you guys at home, when you spend 1,200, you'll get the Code of Chivalry bundle, which is access to the event, the tier skin, the Fire Giant Ward, and the Chivalry loading frame. And then if you complete all the rewards, you'll get Anubis, Odin, Osiris again, the loading screen, and the Chivalry music theme all in a pack too. If you do the requests, you'll get all those, but if you don't manage to complete them all, you'll get them all at the end of the event. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Cool.
I didn't have a paper to read off of, so you cheated.
Me neither. I'm not reading off a paper, I swear. I'm just doing it off the top of my
Someone
head.
cut to Hindu.
Cut to me. I've got no paper here. Look at me. I'm so fun. Anyway, moving on to Savannah. We've got DreamHack coming up right now, I believe.
Yes, we do.
What's going on with DreamHack?
DreamHack's coming up mid-July, but the website for that will be going live at the end of Patch Note Show today. You can check out the URL at the bottom of your screen at some point.
There we go. Yeah, road-to-Valencia at smygame.com, as you can see. And that should have everything you want to know to do with Valencia, like schedules and things.
Yes, and speaking of the road to Valencia, our high-res European team will be going on a tour of Europe, so to speak, leading up until DreamHack. So you can catch those guys at different pubs around Europe, play Smite games, do challenges, and win cool loot.
Yeah, I heard about this. I don't get to go on that because I'm technically classed as North American now. But if you want to meet the European office, you'll be able to head over to DreamHack-2017 at HarryStudios.com, obviously, and find out where they're going to be for all the events and things like that. That should be quite exciting. But you guys, tell me I heard there was some sales this week as well, right?
Yeah, today is Flag Day, actually, so you can enjoy 50% off every flag avatar in game right now. And then this weekend is Father's Day, so of course...
It is?
It is!
Yeah,
no,
I don't have a dad, but if you guys at home do, you can get 50% off voice packs and Father's Day skins.
Yep, that's right. And Loki's actually included in this one, too. He's kind of our little joke there because he's also in the Mother's Day sale.
Well, guys, thank you so much for that. David, don't worry about it. I'll be your daddy this weekend if you need it, my friend. Don't worry, I've always got you covered.
What the fuck, bro?
Weird. Why is that weird? He needed a daddy. I was offering to help him out. What's wrong with that? Come on. Well, it's time to move on now to, let me just check real quick. It's time to have a little look at the new gun, I guess, right? Do you want to see it? Let's have a look.
I can't breathe.
50 or 500, we will prevail.
Too much for me, dude. Way too much for me.
Okay, I'm already like,
did you hear the sounds of his pants tearing?
Oh, yeah. Was that his pants tearing? Is that what it was?
So.
He's going to be somebody's daddy this weekend as well. So.
Pants.
Right, before
all right, fine. His pants.
Fishman, I'm going to
use a technical art term.
You're our lore guy.
Is it a hunter?
This dude, and how the hell do you pronounce his name, first of all?
So, why don't we call him Cuchulainn?
Cuchulainn. Okay.
Yeah.
Not Cuchulainn.
Nope.
So they're going for vampire, like the movie.
The Celtic.
No, really?
And he is a warrior. Just get that out of the way.
Rhetorical, sarcastic
warrior.
thing. You gotta just take it
Jungle
down.
Warrior. Jungle Warrior. Jungle Warrior.
I like when he trolled you by swearing that he had not gone, but he actually had. That was the deep troll.
So, his name's called Cuchulainn. He's
Cuchulainn.
His name's called Cuchulainn, and he's from the
Not
Celtic pantheon. A warrior. What is his backstory?
So he's got three major things. He is the Thriceborn, he is the Hound of Ulster, and he has the Berserk Warp Spasm. So the Thriceborn, his mother and his uncle are out. Their crops have been eaten by these supernatural birds. They're chasing them down, and while they're looking for him, they stumble across this small farmhouse that's just like a place to spend the night.
Sure.
So they and like their army of several dozen people and like chariots and stuff, they all stop in this like two-person farmhouse, eat all their food, drink all their drink. Meanwhile, the poor old farmer's wife is going into labor. So she gives birth to a child. At the same time, a horse outside gives birth to a foal. And then they're like, well, obviously that horse belongs to that child, although why wouldn't it? It's their farm.
That's true.
The weird thing is they drink all their drink. They're kind of hazy. They pass out. The next morning, there is no farmhouse. There is no farmer. There is no parent horse. There's just the child and the baby horse. That's all that's left. So they start to travel back. Sad things happen. The child dies.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Sad things happen. The child dies.
Was that a quest?
Sure. Okay. He chose poorly. So then the mom's really sad. She's not the mom yet, right? The woman who's going to be his mother. She's really sad. As you are wont to do, you're having a bad day. She drinks a glass of wine. Does not notice that this poor child who's passed away has shrunk down to the size of like a bean and fallen into this glass of wine that she has. So then, you know, several months later, she starts to swell as with child. And all these rumors being passed around. It's like, wait, she's single. Why is she pregnant? And these weird rumors. So, you know, his uncle is like, well, that's not right. Let's get her married. So she finds a nice guy. They go to their wedding night. Sad things happen. The child dies again. But then they still manage to have a reasonably entertaining wedding night. So then soon she is again with child. Okay. Right. And then she has this weird dream. And this god appears to her in the dream. And she's like, who are you? And he's like, it's Lug. I am his father. It turns out he's the same guy as the farmer from way back, and it's actually the descendant of a deity, which he has an original name, but he winds up being Cuchulainn. So that's the Thriceborn.
Okay.
Mythology is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But and even before he was
all
born,
drunk storytellers
he was
a long time ago,
unstoppable.
just making up stuff.
What would be even better?
Babies.
He died again!
He was unstoppable.
Well, let's have a look at the card art first of all. And Chuck, obviously, with the lore and idea behind this,
looking a lot like
have to
Erlang
cover the art side of things here with, you know, with the designers in tow. What was the kind of theme you were really after here?
I'm not gonna lie. The decision around Cuchulainn was mostly pushed by AJ, which was like, we need another sexy man.
I stand
got in the background
with a
by
ripped
this statement.
chest and abs.
We did a bunch of beast men.
He needs to be handsome.
Okay.
No more beasts and monsters.
So what went wrong with the guy in the front?
We met halfway.
Yeah.
what went wrong with the guy at the front? Because the guy at the back, that says everything like that to me.
Yes, sir.
Do I get to play both of those? Please tell me I get to play both of those.
You absolutely get to play both of those.
So Cuchulainn, as you can see,
does he only have 25 mana?
He is the full package of manliness.
Oh, he
looks good.
He's got a spear.
I prefer his alter ego already by looks, but I'm pretty sure I can be sold on playing this character now.
Here's the other thing: is like that's only part 1 of his lore, right? Later, he goes out. These children are playing on their hurling field. Let's pretend it's soccer. He's like, man, that looks fun. He runs out on the field. They're like, you didn't ask our permission to play soccer, so they all start to beat him up.
Yep.
He goes crazy angry, beats like this whole field worth of kids down until the king wanders by and is like, you can't just kill all these kids. You're supposed to ask permission to play first. He's like, oh, I didn't know. Can I have permission? And they're all like bloody and bruised on the ground. Like, yes, you can play, you can play. So then before they get back to playing, he starts chasing them around. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, they didn't get my permission, right? So he's kind of got this like anger management issue, and which later the king's like, all right, well, you're a good fighter. Come see me. I'm gonna be at this guy's house. Forgets to tell the guy that Cuchulainn's coming. The dog is there. He kills the dog because the dog goes to attack him. So he actually acts as the guard dog for this guy. So you'll see on his tattoos, this hound theming is because he's known as the Hound of Ulster for acting as this guy's guard dog until he can train a new one for him. Then when he gets even older, he continues this anger management issue. He goes out, he kills these 3 enemies who are like, oh man, I think we've killed more Ulster soldiers than there are men living in Ulster. He's like, oh well, you haven't fought me. He goes out, he bulks out, I'm gonna say. His body changes configuration. His parts move into different places. They call it the warp spasm, and he actually superheats. So when he comes back, his soldiers are afraid of him, and so they throw him into 3 barrels of water before he cools down to a reasonable temperature. So that's where you're kind of gonna see this big guy.
Right, the whole lore is just people messing with Cuchulainn, and then he just flips out on them and goes psycho, and eventually he gets so psycho he turns into a big monster.
He really is an epic hero of the Celtic mythology, so there's lots of lore.
Let's start off then with his passive, Fishman. I'm going to come to you for this first of all. It's called Berserk, and as we can see, it's something to do with his mana bar, because his mana bar only says 100, right?
Sure, and if you'll notice, it's actually only up to 25 until Pon starts wailing on these poor defenseless Odins.
Okay.
So it is mana in some senses.
Fake mana.
You do spend your abilities
rage.
It's
the World of Warcraft rage.
You do regen it up to this 25 point if you're in base. It'll pop up to 25. If you're walking around, you have less than 25. It'll
rage,
regen back
bro.
Up to that point. That's
they
where
put Warrior Rage from WoW in Smite.
Yeah. Now also check out what's starting to happen to our boy as his meter goes up. Can you get in a little closer?
His health is going up, right? Or his health.
So you'll start seeing the tone around his skin change a
what
bit,
is that?
and his muscles are kind of
Oh,
wobbling.
he's hulking out.
So,
oh shit! Look at how big
he's
he's
building
getting.
this up by hitting enemies. He's doing it through basic attacks. He's doing it through his 1, his 3, and his 4. If we see those later, those are all going to build up his mana up to 100. Okay. When it goes above 85, he's going to transform into his Berserk mode. He is. Oh my god! Okay. Yeah. He's effectively a stance changer, but he doesn't have like the just flip a button. Instead, he builds up this mana, and when it goes over the threshold, that's when he transforms. He has a whole second set of abilities. His 2 stays the same, but we'll get to that. But of the other ones, he's got a normal mode and a Berserk mode for all those. His body's all twisted.
My god!
He's seriously a scary dude.
So when he hulks up and he hulks down and stuff like that, like he man modes and comes back down again, does it have like a sort of a pause between doing that, or can you just continue to flow normally?
So it's not going to do it if you're in the middle of firing your ability. But the moment you're out of that ability, or if you're just walking around, you're going to instantly go into that mode.
Okay, and you have to be able to get that Berserk mode up. It's 85 mana?
85, when you're above 85.
For 3 seconds.
That's right.
And that's when it'll activate.
And you can use his abilities. Casting his abilities are going to subtract some mana, but if you hit enemies with them, they're going to return more than they... If you hit multiple enemies, they're going to return more than they cost. The 2 only cost mana, so you can kind of use those to manage. All right, I want to turn into this for a team fight, but I don't want to do it while I'm attacking the mid-harpies. Okay. So let's use one of those, spin down to like 60, and
it's
then
going to be
back
so
up
hard
in the
for
fight,
casuals
so I can use my whole
to
combo.
time their fucking ultimate, or their passive.
The mana. Like, if you build MP5 or mana in this, does he get a bigger bar?
That's an excellent question. No mana item in the game is going to affect his mana. His mana is mana. It's what it is, internal to the kit. Instead, it's going to convert to health at 10% ratio. So if I get 200 health from an item, I'm going to get 20 health instead. No change to my mana.
200 mana.
Yeah. 200 mana item is going to give me 20 health.
Yes.
Right. I don't know what I said, but that's what I meant.
So if I built Transcendence on this character, I would get mana regen, which would be not worth it. Regen.
That's right.
And then also the mana I get from Transcendence would actually convert into health.
That's right.
And power from Transcendence.
That's also correct. Now he doesn't have
1 to 10 though.
1 to 10.
That's right.
Still.
Now he doesn't have any base mana, unlike any of the other gods. So you gotta weigh that out. But no item is useless on him because that mana will turn into health, and that MP5 will turn into HP5. If you get healed, if you get mana heal like for meditation, that will turn into health as well.
How long is he in this form?
So it definitely gives him an interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds evil. Okay, so that's just the passive.
That's just the passive.
Just the passive.
We've gone through lore and passive so far. So every ability, as you said, rage mode, normal mode, basically there's 2 different variations of that based off whether he's in that form or not.
Right.
And it can be queued whenever, so it's not even his ultimate. That's crazy.
Yes.
So ability 1 is called Barb's Spear. I'm guessing he does something with the spear, AJ.
Of course, he's very well known for his special spear.
Is he pulled?
So here we see
the
line attack, and what this is going to do is it's going to deal damage to all targets in range. It's going to apply a strong anti-healing effect to gods, and it's going to stun minions, but only stunning minions.
Minions, does that include like red buff,
blue buff? It only counts lane minions.
Lane minions only, I just need to check that. Cool.
And as a warrior in the solo lane, this has some really cool implications because you can actually prevent the minions from shooting your minions for a short period of time. It's quite powerful.
Okay. And that's the first ability. Now, what happens in Rage mode, then?
So in Rage mode, you still have...
Is that what we call it?
We're going to Berserk mode.
Berserk, okay.
Berserk mode. So in Berserk mode, you still have a line attack, but it's more of a slam, and this is going to root everybody in it.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
So you get a little more crowd control when you're Berserk.
Okay.
But very similar is the way the ability handles and the area and the timings, but you get the... root instead of the anti-heal.
So the first ability outside of Berserk mode is anti-heal and lane clear, basically, but stun minions out and get some pressure. And then the Berserk version basically is a root that's going to deal decent damage too.
And now, similar to Fafnir, the structure of the ability, behaviors, and shapes is feeling similar between the 2 states, so that it's not
too far out there.
Yeah, so that when you change, you're not suddenly like, oh, what does the one do? It's like, I'm not playing Morgan right now.
I got that. So we'll move on then to the next ability, which is called Vent Anger. I'm guessing this is a way to burn some of your mana pool down, I guess, here?
That's exactly right. So it does 3 things. 1, it reduces your mana pool, so you can kind of control when you're going to that Berserk state. 2, it's going to damage all enemies in range, similar to like a mystical mail effect, where it's just going to do this pulsing damage around you, which is great in the middle of a team fight to just throw out some extra damage that people aren't paying attention to. And 3, it's also going to increase your movement speed while it's active.
Increase your movement speed too. Ooh. So you can chase people down a lot easier with this to try and get in range.
And while you're chasing, like even before you're actually wailing on them.
You got to be careful using that ability too often though, because that's gonna slow down your berserk.
Right, like look how low he is now.
And this is the only time we've seen him go below that 25 because he's landing hits otherwise.
And he's not got abilities.
And when he runs out of mana, you got to start landing hits and taking damage to get back because he's got.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
If you overuse it, you're actually not transforming as often as you could be.
Okay, so you want to try and keep your mana bar up as high as you can by constantly being in
This
battle.
guy in the jungle is going to be
and hitting
not as good as solo, but it's going to be fun.
Sure. If you're even only hitting one target at a time, you're going to end up as a net negative.
Well, you can see Pop on hitting 3, then the mana bar slowly chunking up. But if he hits just 1, if he will do that for me in a second, you should be able to see it's a lot less of.
No, he's just not going to do it for you. But you're right.
We also berserking instead.
This reminds me. I don't know if I harped on this, but with the passive, you're also gaining mana from taking damage or from your allies taking damage. Although at a much.
Allies?
That's right. That's right. So the old strategy of like, oh, don't hit that guy for just a second, like the Capriol, the Geb Shield, the Kuzenbo, it's like, well, let's just not focus him. Doesn't matter. If you hurt his friends, that's going to tick him off as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow. But not nearly as quickly as landing your other abilities.
It kind of feels a little bit like Guan Yu in terms of his conviction heal, where if he's taking damage or he's dealing damage, he's going to generate his heal amount. This is the same sort of thing, but in terms of
getting to berserk
range.
And the balance is a little bit different. Whereas with Guan Yu, it's like, well, as long as I'm in combat, I'm gaining. This is much more focused on the deliberate. If I'm hitting my abilities, that's how I'm going to go berserk the fastest.
Okay, so that's Vent Anger, and then it's time to move on to ability 3, which is called Salmon's Leap.
Yeah, Salmon's Leap, which maybe sounds a little strange to you guys, but this is a very specific move that he had out of his lore.
Okay. The Celts were so impressed with the salmon's ability to leap.
Who isn't?
Yeah, I mean, it's a swimming upstream. It's a symbol of persistence and defiance, but he does a really cool flip spear attack here with a very unique targeter shape. That is an AoE with an added line on front.
What is that added line? Yeah.
And what does that do? Just deal damage on landing?
It's just extra damage, or same damage.
It does damage, and that's what it does.
Over
and
walls?
It can go over walls, but it's a shorter range leap, so you have to be, you have to cut some corners or look for smaller pieces. You can't jump the full big blocks with it.
I get you with that. Okay, and what about the Berserk version of that ability then? What's that?
So as a Berserk, it transforms into a dash. So it still has movement ability. It still has about the same range, but instead of a leap that can go over walls, it's a dash that pushes enemies.
Oh, okay. So similar-ish to a driving strike by the looks of it.
It's got a bit of a Herc feel to it.
Yeah.
And you haven't really seen just him yet using this guy in regular context, but when he's just running around shoulder charging people and hitting them and flipping, it's scary looking. And he makes that scary pounding noise.
Oh yeah.
These abilities do have cooldowns as well. Obviously, we're playing. This is one of those guns that you don't normally talk about that, but it does have cooldowns on his abilities. It's not just his berserk.
It's like cooldown on the 3. It's like
normal,
cooldown on the 1.
normal ability cooldowns.
You can see him now. Cool. I just want to make sure because I'm like, hang on a second. If I've just got all this mana built up, can I just spam all these things straight after each other?
They do have cooldowns. His berserk mode abilities have much lower cooldowns, so they will almost always be off cooldown when you transform into berserk mode.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And it's not like you just have free mana. If you're not hitting guys successfully with stuff,
you're not doing anything.
Yeah, you can get
if you get behind and you can't engage a lot, it's easy to get stuck with just no mana.
Okay. Or if you rely on that too much to do your damage.
Yeah.
Would Mystical Mail and maybe Nemean Lion, would they generate some of your mana too?
We had somebody try Mystical Mail with some success. Nemean Lion, like it's not bad, but there's so many cool builds that you can do with him because of the health mana thing that we didn't have that many people try that.
It's just most intense with the mana bar, growing the mana bar back up because you are in combat and fighting and dealing damage technically from Nemean Lion. So, well, I guess we should move on, Fish, to the ultimate. Spear
CDR build. Shit, so it's longer cooldowns.
That's right.
Damn.
Okay.
Because only having one ultimate just isn't as cool as 2 ultimates. That's my thought. It's simple math.
Completely agree. So, What does the Spear of the Mortal Pain do?
So relatively straightforward. It's got a bit of a wind-up to give your enemies time to...
big.
Yeah, it is pretty big. He's going to swing a spear around and damage and knock up all enemies in range. It also gains mana back at a higher rate than any of his other abilities to help you like use this to trigger your Berserk in combat.
He is hitting 4 targets there, which is, you know, pretty tough to do for gods, but gives him a big chunk of his mana back for that.
All of his abilities cap out at 3. If you hit 3 gods, you're maxing out your mana.
Okay.
If you're hitting 5, you're still only getting 3 gods worth of mana from that.
All right.
Now he's in monster mode.
And his ultimate version here is called Warcry.
That's right. He's got a massive screen that's going to tremble and damage all enemies in range.
Yeah, tremble?
If the bots get trembled, they keep infinitely trembling.
The only thing that stops him that I've found is the knockup. The knockup will, will make him chill.
Regular players will be less effective.
Yes, it's a short tremble.
So how does the tremble actually work? Is it like a fear? Is it like a mez?
It's like a Bacchus
stroke.
stroke.
Okay, so you slightly
tremors.
Tremors, that sort of thing. Cool. Just to make
really
it clear for the
short.
people at home.
It's one time, like Bacchus, it has a duration, and when that's over, like no matter how long you're in range,
and what's
you'll
the
be done
duration on him? Is it a scale?
I don't have it written down here, I don't think.
Press K, pawn.
Let us see. Because it's changed over the course.
1 second. 1 second.
Okay,
so it's
tremble.
consistent.
I tremble for 1 second just to disorientate a little bit and maybe split up the squad a little bit if they grouped up. Okay.
Yeah, get him off your back.
This is going to be an interesting god. I don't know how strong or OP it's going to be, but it looks like it's going to be fun.
It's also a not insignificant amount of damage.
So what do we expect this god to get played then? Obviously solo lane warrior, I'm guessing.
Sure.
Can he jungle?
He can. We actually had him do some serious success with like coming out of the jungle, ready to go into Berserk, and then doing lockdown on the target. So I think he's very capable there as well. We'll have to see how he plays.
The real mark of a true Cuchulainn player is getting that Berserk at the right time.
That's right.
And it can be quite difficult to do. But he has got a nice cohesive kit that makes sense on its own, and it's really one of those good feelings of easy to pick up but difficult to master.
And a lot of really high quality art support for it too. The passive meter is going to show you when you're transforming into that, when your 3 seconds is up. When you're in Berserk, it's going to be counting down, so you know how much time you have left. As we pointed out, the rigging and the animation actually changes his body a little bit. He's got some FX glow, all to show you when you're approaching it. But it is a learning thing.
Okay. And it's really interesting how the character kind of creates this.
Trying to think of how this god will be when you need to like run away.
He's just in the lane fighting, right? But at any minute, that pounding noise could start, and then you could have to deal with the giant monster.
That's so loud right now. It's going to get the louder as time goes on for some reason. But one thing I will ask as well is to do with this god when he's in Berserk mode. How long till he comes out of it? Does he stay there as
20 seconds.
Damage?
20 seconds.
So I can't infinitely stay dealing damage.
That's cool.
Nope, you can spend your 20 seconds however you want, but at the end of that, you're transforming back.
Okay.
And you can't gain any mana while you're in the Berserk stance, so you're going to come back at 25 and have to build back up from there.
Okay, interesting. This guy looks amazing.
Oh, Berserk stance doesn't cost mana.
It's a very, very unique god.
Okay.
It definitely is. And
that is awesome.
Gods like this in the future, I think. After seeing
this god is going to be fun as shit.
Monsters. Humans in terms of monsters is always never a bad thing.
What happens if I BGS as the monster?
Well, we've not done his voice pack, so let's have a little listen in.
You're amazing! Smashing! I can take on any foe! I get a little hot under the collar. Haven't you heard my stories? It's like they say, the windy day is not the day for thatched wattles. Ever been to Scotland? Lovely place. But how do they tell which restroom is for who? Attack middle lane!
That was a bad joke.
I hope the Europeans get it, because I don't.
Oh no, I got some of them really bad. Does he change in Berserk then in his voice pack?
So his abilities definitely have it. The goal was for a Fafnir kind of feel, where his voice is actually a different voice for his abilities, but I think his regular VGS might still use the bass.
Fafnir has effects morphing on the dragon, so even if you rock, he says the same lines by the same actor, but it sounds a lot deeper and echoey. So I'm pretty sure we employed the same.
When Pop knows how to.
That was definitely the goal.
Effects here. And sometimes audio comes in later in the process, so it's possible it might not be in yet.
Okay.
But the intention is definitely for him to sound deeper and. Let's see. Okay, so it doesn't quite have it yet.
Now.
We'll get those effects.
I prefer
you prefer that?
I prefer
we could probably go either way.
Really ragey, but then just be really calm at the same time. Like, no, it's a normal day.
Because I feel like I heard him saying some weird monster stuff. Was that when he
definitely
was doing
every ability
abilities?
has a different line with a different voice, like with effects, like AJ was saying.
What's up, Vitska?
Well, that is your first look at Cuchulainn.
Nope, not even close.
Cuchulainn.
It doesn't rhyme with
Cuchulainn. Cuchulainn. Let's go with that.
Is the dragon.
Cuchulainn. Okay, well, let's have a look at his other version of his skin. Obviously, it comes with a new Tier 2 skin version with him as well. So,
Tier red. Recolor.
He's red.
Sorry, I got distracted. I'm sorry. I was like, ooh, that's
really the black and red full-on badass.
The Tier 2.
It's a recolor. Tier 2 is still the same thing.
Tier 1s are recolors.
Yeah.
Tier 2s have added elements.
I'm sorry, we changed the tiers so many times I get confused myself.
Have we, Hindu?
I always thought it was. I always classed it as a tier 2.
Sarcastic.
This is why we shouldn't talk about
no
tiers.
one can even
It's
tell
because
if
even
he's
we don't know anymore.
I always thought it was a tier 2. But there's a
This is a
little
great recolor, though. It looks super awesome.
Yeah,
I kind of get like a Japanese RPG vibe off of the color scheme.
Does
I'm a big fan of
version
green,
of this change as well? Does it change to a different looking color, or is he still the same color?
The bits of his clothes that are on, I believe, in Berserk form are different color.
I assume the hair would change.
Papa, show me.
He's got to beat on a bunch of bots now.
Where are you going?
Get it.
You're going.
Get it,
I love
Pon.
his Scottish accent.
It's a recolor.
Awesome. Yeah, so you got the red kilt and the white hair and the black tattoos.
Oh, he looks dope.
See the giant bulging eye?
Yes.
And the different sized arms. He's got like a strong arm and a weak arm.
The eye is mentioned in his lore specifically, and it's mentioned that he doesn't just become, Hulk, who's nice and symmetrical and big. He actually warps out and twists and turns, and his like bones crack, and yeah, it's like more like a werewolfing kind of thing.
He did a kick-ass job bringing that into Smite, I think.
Yeah, the animation team really went all out.
Well, this patch,
modeling everybody.
Surprisingly enough, this patch has run its course now. It's been a little bit longer than usual, though, even though we had not much balance, but a hell of a lot of skins.
A lot of skins, complex god, very unique, lots to go over.
This new god is
this new god coming out as well. What's your
cool.
favorite thing this patch, Chuck, for you? Osiris?
I love the Cuchulainn monster. I love the animations on it. Just the feeling of like running around and punching things and spinning and jumping and doing that crazy scream is too cool.
Same.
I mean, he's a great god. He's super unique, and he was very difficult and interesting to develop. We were all over the place, really focusing on how to make this mechanic work, and I'm super happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, I'm sure you're expecting me to mix it up and pick the weird favorites like Sleeper Hit, but it's just Cuchulainn. He's so cool.
It's going to have to be.
Honorable mention for Goobus.
That's pretty much all we've got time for this week on the patch notes, but make sure you do check out all the websites to do with Koki Sports, all the things to do with going to DreamHack in Valencia, and all the places you can go and see that.
All right, that's the end of the patch notes. New God is going to be dope. I will be playing it on PCS tonight. Make sure you're in the stream at like 9:30, 10 p.m. As long as PTS is up tonight. If it's not, we'll just run some other Smite, and then we'll play PTS whenever it goes live. Have a good evening, guys. I'm actually going to try to work out and then eat, and then I have scrim, and then I have stream. So I'll see you all later for Smite and then PUBG as usual. Have a good night.